Hi everyone. Today's topic is revision on the fatty liver and lipotropic factors and also brown adipose tissue. I am Dr. Beena. Now, there are some important questions in these topics. One is, what are lipotropic factors? Enumerate 3 lipotropic factors. That is 3-mark question. Then causes of fatty liver, 3 marks question. Then why alcohol ingestion causes fatty liver, 1-mark question. And then brown adipose tissue, a 3-mark question. So this came for university in the previous years. Now we'll see what is fatty liver and the lipotropic factors. Fatty liver refers to the deposition of excess triglycerides in the liver cells. So I am stressing on this triglycerides. So always write triglyceride instead of simply writing fat. So fatty liver means deposition of excess triglycerides in the liver cell or hepatocytes. There is a balance between the factors causing fat deposition in the liver versus factors causing removal of fat from the liver. So that determines the outcome of developing fatty liver. So usually, normally in the human beings, there is a balance between the factors which causes the fat deposition in the liver and the factors which removes the fat from the liver. So when there is any derangement in this balance, there will be fatty liver formation. Now, what are the causes of fatty liver? Causes of fat deposition of liver. There are some factors which causes fat deposition in the liver. One is mobilization of fatty acid, that is free fatty acid or non-esterified fatty acid from the adipose tissue. So usually fat is stored in the adipose tissue. From there free fatty acid is mobilized. That is one cause. Then more synthesis of fatty acid from glucose. When there is excess carbohydrate in the diet, after conversion to the glycogen, the excess quantity is converted into fat and stored in the liver and also in the adipocytes. So these are the two factors which causes fat deposition in the liver, that is mobilization of free fatty acid from the adipose tissue and the synthesis of fat from the carbohydrate, that's from glucose. Then there are factors which reduce the removal of fat from the liver, mainly toxic injury to the liver, so that secretion of VLDL needs synthesis of ApoB100 and ApoC, which are the apoproteins for the transport of VLDL. So from the liver, triglycerides are always usually transported in the VLDL. So when there is injury to the liver, that may be affected because injury may harm the liver, and so the production of ApoB100 and ApoC, which is the apoproteins of VLDL, may be decreased. So the secretion of VLDL also may be decreased. Then there will be decreased oxidation of fat by the hepatic cells. When there is decreased oxidation of fat in the hepatic cells, that also decreases the removal of fat from the liver. So an increase in factors 1 and 2, that is mobilization of fatty acid and synthesis of fatty acid from glucose, or a decrease in the factors 3 and 4. 3 and 4 means toxic injury and the decreased oxidation of fat in the hepatocytes will cause excessive accumulation and leading to fatty liver. So these are the main causes for the fatty liver. So in this diagram you can see factors which increase the deposition of fat in the liver and the factors which removes. So the step 1, that is free fatty acid to the liver. Then there is second, from the blood glucose. When there is excess glucose in the blood, it may be converted to fat and stored in the liver and also in the triglyceride pool. So the factors which removes are through the VLDL from the liver. It is secreted through VLDL to the extrahepatic tissue, and similarly for the oxidation from the triglyceride pool. So now we'll see each one separately. Excessive mobilization of fat. The capacity of the liver to take up Fatty acids from the blood far exceeds its capacity for excretion as VLDL. So usually liver has got a capacity to take up fatty acid from the blood more than the excretion into the VLDL. So naturally there will be deposition by the mobilization of fatty acid from the blood to the liver. Then so fatty liver can occur in diabetes mellitus and the starvation due to increased lipolysis in the adipose tissue. So in the diabetes and starvation there will be decrease in the insulin secretion is less. So there will be inhibition of lipolysis is lost. So there will be more of lipolysis and more fatty acids are released from the adipose tissue, and that will be producing more of fatty acid in the excess calories either in the form of carbohydrate or fats are deposited as fat. Another factor is the excess calories. If you take excess calories in the diet, either in the form of carbohydrate or fats, it will be deposited as fat. So obesity may be accompanied by fatty liver. So usually obese people may have fatty liver. Then which factors which removes triglyceride from the liver, that is toxic injury to the liver. In toxic injury due to the poisoning by the compounds like carbon tetrachloride, arsenic, lead, etc., the capacity to synthesize VLDL is affected, leading to fatty infiltration of liver. So in this case, liver cells are affected by the toxic substance like carbon tetrachloride, arsenic and lead, and then there will be decreased synthesis of VLDL, and so there will be fatty infiltration of liver. Then in protein malnutrition, that is when there is protein malnutrition, amino acids required to synthesize the apoprotein, mainly ApoB100 and C, is decreased. So there will be deposition of fat in the liver. Excretion is decreased, so there will be deposition. Another cause is the hepatitis B virus. Hepatitis B virus infection also reduce the functions of hepatic cells, thereby decreasing the secretion of VLDL from the liver. Now another important cause is the alcoholism. It is the most common cause of fatty liver and cirrhosis in India. Alcohol is oxidized to acetaldehyde. You know the metabolism, we have studied the metabolism where there are two enzymes which uses for the metabolism, that is alcohol dehydrogenase and aldehyde dehydrogenase. Both will produce excess production of NADH, and alcohol dehydrogenase produces acetaldehyde, and then the acetaldehyde is again acted upon by the aldehyde dehydrogenase to produce and then metabolized in the body. So this reaction produces increased quantities of NADH, which converts the oxaloacetate to malate. As the availability of the oxalate acetate is reduced, the oxidation of acetyl coenzyme through citric acid cycle is reduced. So naturally, the acetyl coenzyme is not passing on to the citric acid, so fatty acid accumulates. So then there will be synthesis of fatty acid, and then that will lead on to the triglyceride deposits in the liver. Once the fatty acid is accumulated, then it will be esterified to the glycerol and forming the triacylglycerol, and which is deposited in the liver. So and one more question was alcoholism. Why alcoholism produces fatty liver? So that acetaldehyde which is there in the during the metabolism will affect the hepatic cells, and so then there will be decreased production. There will be production of fat that will produce the fatty liver. That is, fatty acetyl coenzyme is converted to fatty acid, and which will be converted to triacylglycerol. So that is the cause for the fatty liver. Then non-alcoholic fatty liver disease or non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. That is another condition where there is fatty liver. High fat diet and uncontrolled diabetes mellitus are the most common cause of non-alcoholic steatohepatitis or the non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So here the fat accumulates in the hepatocytes. As it progresses, inflammatory reactions occurs, which is then termed non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. So here it is not the alcoholism, only the high-fat diet and uncontrolled diabetes mellitus which are causing the fatty liver. So later on, the fatty liver progressed to cirrhosis. Fat molecules infiltrate into cytoplasm of the cell, that is fatty infiltration. They are seen in as fat droplets which are merged together so that the most of the cytoplasm become laden with fat. The nucleus is pushed to the side of the cell, nucleus further disintegrated, that is karyorrhexis, and then ultimately hepatic cell is lysed. As a healing process, fibrous tissue is laid down, causing fibrosis of the liver, otherwise known as cirrhosis. So like that, cirrhosis may develop in the fatty liver in the later stage. Liver function test will show abnormal values in this case. Now, what are the lipotropic factors? So you have to define the lipotropic factors when you are asked to write about the lipotropic factors. They are required for the normal mobilization of fat from the liver. So these are factors which are required for the normal mobilization of fat from the liver. Therefore, deficiency of these factors may result in fatty liver. So this will help in mobilization of fat from the liver. So whenever there is deficiency of these factors, that will result in the fatty liver. They can afford protection against the development of fatty liver. So which are the commonly used lipotropic factors? One is choline, then second is lecithin and methionine, and third is vitamin E and selenium. Then fourth one is the omega-3 fatty acids, of which choline is most important. You know what is choline? It is a trimethyl ethanolamine and it is acting as a lipotropic factor. Lecithin and methionine, they help in the synthesis of apoprotein and choline formation. So by helping the formation of apoproteins and choline, they they are acting as a lipotropic factors. The deficiency of methyl group of carnitine synthesis may also decrease the fatty acid oxidation. You know, carnitine is necessary for the beta oxidation of fatty acids. So when there is deficiency of this methyl group from which are the methyl group donor is the methionine. So when there is deficiency of methionine, the carnitine synthesis may be decreased and that will decrease the fatty acid oxidation. Then vitamin E and selenium gives protection due to their antioxidant property. So both are antioxidants, vitamin E and the selenium. So they help in by their antioxidant property. Then the omega-3 fatty acids present in marine oils, that is fish oils, have a protective effect against the fatty liver. Then there are some more lipotropic factors. Dietary deficiency of choline or precursors of choline like amino acids such as glycine, serine, methionine can cause fatty liver. So synthesis of choline needs some amino acids, that is glycine, serine or methionine. So when there is deficiency of these amino acids, naturally there will be deficiency of choline. So that will again produce, that will act as a lipotropic factors. Then vitamin B12 and folic acid are also used as lipotropic factors as these are involved in the formation of methionine and homocysteine. You know, vitamin B12 methylcobalamin is used for the synthesis of methionine. So methionine is as a lipotropic factor. So whenever there is deficiency of vitamin B12 and folic acid which is needed for the methionine synthesis, so they are acting as a lipotropic factors. Then casein is another protein which possesses the lipotropic activity. Now then other part of the question is what is brown adipose tissue. So before going to the brown adipose tissue, we have to know what is white adipose tissue. It is mainly concerned with energy storage and it is made up of spherical cells with very few mitochondria. The triglyceride form the major component of white adipose tissue, about 80%, with oleic acid being the most abundant fatty acid. About 50% is constituted by oleic acids. So white adipose tissue usually concerned with the energy storage. Now what is brown adipose tissue? The usual question was brown adipose tissue and it is involved in the thermogenesis. So the brown color is due to the presence of numerous mitochondria and it is primarily important in newborn human beings and the adult hibernating animals. So brown adipose tissue is mainly involved in the thermogenesis, heat production. So it is involved in thermogenesis. It is distinguished from the white adipose tissue by its smaller size, that is diameter 20 to 40 micrometer, and it is differential shape, that is it is polygonal, not the round as in white adipose tissue. It is polygonal in shape in the adipocytes. Brown adipose tissue store triacylglycerol but in several small droplets. So it is stored in small droplets in the cell. So the brown color is due to the presence of numerous mitochondria and rich capillary blood supply. In the mitochondria, the cytochromes has chromoprotein, and again in the capillary blood there is hemoglobin, which is also a chromoprotein. So the color of the brown adipose tissue is brown in color. It is primarily important in newborn human beings and the adult hibernating animals. Unique feature of is their production of uncoupling protein 1, that is UCP1, and also that is also called as thermogenin. So it is a uncoupling protein UCP1. Thermogenin is responsible for the production of thermogenesis. So what is thermogenesis? It's a process found in brown adipose tissue. Thermogenin provides an alternative route for the entry of protons that bypasses the ATP synthesis. Usually the proton will through the ATP synthase complex, it is producing the ATP. But here thermogenin provides an alternate route for the re-entry of protons so that it bypasses the ATP synthesis. It liberates heat by uncoupling oxidation from phosphorylation. So it uncouples the oxidative phosphorylation. Now, so the energy of proton gradient is thus released as heat, which can maintain the body temperature at its optimal level when the environmental temperature is relatively low. So this here the proton gradient is thus released as heat so that it can maintain a normal temperature to the optimum condition whenever there is the low environmental temperature. So brown adipose tissue are located where the heat generated can ensure that vital tissues like blood vessels to the head, abdominal organs, adrenals and kidney are not chilled as the newborn is delivered to the world of low environmental temperature. So this brown adipose tissue will release heat is generated so that the vital tissues to the blood vessel to the vital tissue is not chilled when the baby is born from the uterus to the external environmental temperature, low temperature. So this finishes the fatty liver lipotropic factors and the brown adipose tissue and the alcoholic cirrhosis, etc. Thank you.